Hey guys, so today I want to go over my watch collection, and this is just an update. I usually do these last few years as I expanded my watch collection, and in this video I'm going to go over both my analog watch collection and my digital watch collection. So yeah, this is my analog watch collection. We'll do this first. This is the more expensive collection, of course. So yeah, these are all my analog watches. Not all of them are actually mechanical. There's actually one quartz watch here as well. And I've done individual watch reviews on all of these. So first of all, this case, I've showed on my channel before, but this is a Decora Bay case, which I highly recommend. I think they make some pretty nice cases. This one is for 8 watches, but they also make ones for 10 watches, 12 watches as well. But yeah, this is the 8 watch one. I don't actually want to keep buying watches. It's a very expensive hobby, so I'm going to stop at 8. That's why I don't buy a bigger one. But yeah, let's just go over from left to right here, starting from the top, all my different analog watches. So first we have the Nomos Tetra. So Nomos Tetra is it's a square watch. It's a perfectly square watch, actually, as you can tell. And I got this, I think, back in 2020. Cost about 1,400 US, and that's actually the used price. The new price, I believe, is like 3,000 or something like that. It is a manual wind watch, so it's not automatic. You actually have to manually wind it, but I don't mind it at all, because with the automatic watches you got to be wearing them anyways, and because I have a lot of watches I don't always wear the same ones, so manual wind it and then it just starts working here. Very minimalistic watch. It's so Nomos is a German company. They're well respected for making their own movements and even their own escapements. So yeah, I just like the minimalist design. It's a design called Bauhaus design, which is very minimalist, very popular for German watches. Junghans also makes these very minimalist designs as well, as do some other German companies. But yeah, Nomos, I would say, is most famous for these Bauhaus minimalist type designs. This one being a very, I actually use this mostly as a dress watch, but this could be an everyday watch as well. It used to be leather. I actually swapped out the strap to be a textile strap so that it can work in more different scenarios. So because this is the textile strap, because the watch is so thin and light, it works well as both a dress watch and an everyday watch. So yeah, pairs really well with the suit, I think. It's got blue steeled hands here, and you got your second dial. Made in Germany, of course. Again, very minimalist aesthetic, white dial. And on the back here you have the 3/4 glashiered plate. See it working there. So yeah, this one is the open back. There is another version of Tetra that's a little bit cheaper and it has a closed back, but this is the version I got with the open back. Pretty nice. So yeah, I wear this in like dressy occasions and sometimes every day as well. Really nice, unique watch. It's just very small and yeah, very thin. You can see how thin it looks. Very thin watch. So yeah, and also how thin it looks. See how thin it looks? So yeah, very classy looking watch. Yeah, and I like yeah, just the minimalist style of it. All right, so next up is the Seiko SPB 399, I believe. I just call this one the Shippo Enamel, and this was actually released in honor of Seiko's 125th anniversary or something. I think it's their 125th anniversary. Alright, so next up is the Seiko SPB 399, which is, I just call this model the Shippo Enamel model. It's a special 110th anniversary model for Seiko. They had a whole line of watches released for their 110th anniversary. This is actually the most expensive one. And it's a Seiko Presage. It's actually the most expensive watch in my collection here, $2,000 US. And yeah, many people might be surprised. The most expensive watch in my collection is a Seiko Presage. It is probably the most expensive Seiko Presage out there. Very unique because of the dial here, and I don't know how well you guys can see this, but this dial is specially made with the Shippo enamel material. That kind of like, you had to like, we look at it in the light here, just you can kind of see it, right? So yeah, it's a very special dial, kind of reflects in the light here. It's made with a special process. It takes like artisan craftsmanship, basically. This happens with a lot of Japanese watches. I find Japanese watches do focus put particular attention on the dial, like, you know, Seikos, Grand Seikos, Orients, some Citizen watches as well, and then of course other boutique Japanese brands like Kurono. Like, they've put particular focus on the dial, and yeah, this is no exception here. It's got a really beautiful blue enamel, what they call a Shippo enamel dial right here. Took artisan craftsmanship to make it, that's why it's so expensive. And then it's got like gold accents on the 12 marker, on the seconds hand, and on a little sub dial here. I like that. It's a very subtle type of gold accents. It's got a power reserve indicator. It's an automatic watch. It's got a date indicator right here, so that's actually a date indicator on the sub dial. And yeah, it's got this little like half moon, crescent moon on the seconds hand. Very nice. And yeah, overall, this is my most expensive watch. I mostly use it for, it's a nice, it could be used every day. I actually mostly use it as a dress watch though. It's very dressy. And if you look at the back here, it's just nothing special. And that's the thing about Seiko. Compared to Swiss watches, Japanese watches don't put too much on the back decoration here. Yeah, it's just, you know, whatever, right? Not too much on the decorating of the movement itself, but they put more attention on the dial. I really do love this dial. So yeah, it's a little bit thick though, a bit thick, but you know, that's the same with a lot of Seikos and Orients. I think a bit thick, maybe because of the dial. But yeah, definitely this is actually my most expensive watch, the Seiko Presage SPB 399 Shippo enamel. All right, next up is the Corniche Bleu d'Or, and Corniche is a micro brand. They're actually a Swedish brand inspired by France, and actually this is probably the cheapest watch here. It's $500. Not that expensive for one of these kind of watches, but it's actually a hybrid watch. It's quartz movement. It's using a Miyota, no, not Miyota, Seiko. It's using a Seiko hybrid movement here. That's actually quartz, but part of it is actually mechanical, and that's the chronograph here. So if I start the chronograph, you can see that it is using mechanical kind of handspring here. That's why it's not, it doesn't have the usual quartz tick. So if I stop it, yeah, it's very smooth, like mechanical, right? Stop it, reset. Yeah, so normally it runs on quartz, which means it's very accurate, and I don't have to like wind it or anything. It runs off a battery, but then the chronograph part is actually mechanical. So it's a hybrid Seiko movement. Again, for $500, it's pretty good, and it looks really nice too. Yeah, I really like the Arabic numerals and everything. The slate blue dial here, really nice with the orange accents. Really nice. This is a limited edition. This is limited to 200 each. By the way, the Seiko one I think is limited to this one's actually limited to 800 pieces worldwide. So yeah, the Seiko one's limited to 800. This one's limited to 200 pieces. So this is actually my most limited watch. It's from a micro brand too. They make special editions all the time though. Yeah, this is just one of their many special editions. You can see on the back here, you have actually engraved back. This is the Bleu d'Or because it's inspired by the Azure coast of France. Pretty nice. The sunset right there, or sunrise. So it's got a nice little detailing there, engraving. So yeah, overall, I really like this watch. Again, this is more of a dressy watch. Yeah, it's got this nice like matching color strap as well. Very nice. So yeah, also uses kind of like a dress watch. But it's also my only chronograph too. So it's nice to have a chronograph in my collection. And yeah, it is my only quartz watch here. Next up is the Junghans Meister calendar, which I got back in 2019, my second oldest watch here in my collection. $1,600 is how much it cost. I paid full retail for this one. This watch I got because this is a calendar watch. I didn't really have a calendar watch. And this one displays the month right there. I mean the month right there. The day right there. The date right here. And the moon phase as well. So you have 4 different complications here. With a gray dial here. And it's domed. So dome glass. Does not use sapphire, by the way. It's actually mineral crystal. But this is a very vintage looking watch because of the dome. It's also very minimalist looking. So Junghans is a German company. Also known for their Bauhaus designs, especially their Max Bill design, but I really like the Meister line, especially this one, because it's so minimalist. I just really love the fact that they fit 4 complications in a dial and not make it look busy, right? Normally, if you have like a calendar dial, it looks really busy because there's so many complications, but in this case, it doesn't look busy at all. It actually still looks quite minimalist, despite the fact that, you know, you have the month, the day, the date, and the moon phase all packed neatly into this this dial here. So I'm just impressed by how much they fit into this dial and not make it look busy. So yeah, beautiful watch. This one's stainless steel, and it's okay with the decoration, not that great actually. Definitely not as much as a Nomos. The Junghans, I find the movement decoration, and this is not their own movement like Nomos. Nomos uses their own movement. This is like a Solita movement or something. The Junghans generally just uses a Swiss movement and kind of rebrands it with their own. So yeah, in terms of the actual like horological, well, Junghans has been around for a long time, but I think Nomos is generally considered more respected in terms of horological, because yeah, Nomos actually makes their entire like movements and escapements and stuff, and Junghans does not. But still, Junghans respected still for their designs, Bauhaus designs and stuff like that. And generally not that expensive either. I mean, probably a little bit cheaper than Nomos in general, if you're talking about in general, right? And this is like my everyday watch. I wear this a lot, just day to day. Yeah, especially because of the stainless steel bracelet here. So, anyways, that is the Junghans Meister calendar. Yeah, I can tell right there. See the Junghans. Actually, a little bit of attention to detail here when you have the Junghans star is that one of the stars here that's on the moon phase actually is a Junghans star. So it has like this little J on it. Like that's one of the stars on the moon phase, which is actually pretty cool. They put that detailing on it. Yeah. Right, yeah, so you can see it on the bracelet here, the little star there. Alright, so that's Junghans. Alright, next up is Farrer. Yeah, this is a micro brand. So this is a British micro brand, but the watches themselves are made in Switzerland. And what I really like about this one, Farrer has some interesting designs, but I never really was interested in many of their designs, but this moon phase really got my attention. Oh yeah, the Junghans was automatic, by the way. The Farrer is a hand wound, just like the Nomos. So you gotta hand wind it. But yeah, I really like this beautiful moon phase dial. So what's special with this one? First of all, the unique shape. It's sort of a Tonneau-ish shape, but not exactly. It's like a halfway between a normal round shape and a Tonneau shape. So it's pretty unique. So unique shape and design. Really appreciate that. And yeah, I'm just really impressed with the design of this particular model. This one is called the Burbridge. They make a few different models. Yeah, but this is the one I like because of the Arctic Burst dial right here. So this is an Arctic Blue Burst dial. You don't see that very often in watches. And then you have the moon phase, which is quite a large aperture here for the window of the moon phase. So what's really special with this one though is that the moon phase right here is actually a very special moon phase. So the moon phase here is actually a really special moon phase. It's because of this large aperture, which I don't really see commonly on other moon phase watches. Like most of the moon phases are going to be like the Junghans, right? You have like a really small window for the moon phase. But on the Farrer, you actually have quite a large window for the moon phase. And not only that, so I can put it out, and that's actually to set the date too. There's a date window right here at the bottom, and I can just pull it out, and I can kind of advance the moon here so you guys can see that this moon is actually a pink moon. So very unique. It's hand painted and everything. Very unique. Of course, you know, most moon phases you see on watches are going to be yellow or white colored, but this is a pink moon. Very, very unique. And yeah, this is just a really unique looking moon phase. Originally came with a leather strap, but I swapped it out for a Milanese loop, just because I like to have this design. Looks cooler, I think. Makes it more for everyday wear instead of like a dressy wear. I think dress watches more use the leather design here. The back here, nicely decorated movement actually. Quite a nice decorated movement right here. You can see the Ferrer branding right here. Really nice decorated movement. Yeah, so overall I'm quite impressed with this watch. It cost about $1,600, about the same as the Junghans Meister calendar. It's actually, you know, on the high end for a micro brand, but still I love this design enough, you know, that I didn't mind paying the full retail price for this one. Especially that beautiful Arctic blue burst style and that pink moon on the moon face. Amazing. All right, next up I have the Raymond Weil Beatles limited edition Let It Be watch, and this is limited to 3,000 pieces, so yeah, still a decent amount, not that limited. Raymond Weil is a Swiss company, so they're headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland, and they do a lot of collaborations with musicians and stuff. The Beatles, they've actually made a few different collaborations, this being their last collaboration with the Beatles, the Let It Be edition, and I actually like this one the best. Now, nothing about this watch is related to the Let It Be album itself, but it's just more of a celebration of the Beatles in general. So you can see the unique semi-skeleton design. When most watch companies do semi-skeleton designs, they don't look that great. Maybe a little bit too busy, but the way that Raymond Weil did it is pretty unique in my opinion. It's actually cut out in the shape of the UK roughly, and then the seconds and hour hand and minute hand are all centered on Liverpool, which is right in the middle of the UK. So you can see this this cutout here roughly in the shape of the UK. That's how they designed it. It's a really unique skeleton design. Of course, labeled with the Beatles right here. And yeah, this, and also this 4-hour markers is different than the rest because it's meant to represent the 4 members of the Beatles. Now, I love the Beatles, right? One of my favorite bands. So I thought this was a pretty nice watch to get. It's definitely more of a dressy watch for me. It comes with a leather strap and 40 millimeters, you know, not too big or anything. Perfect size for like, actually it's, yeah, I think it's 40 or 39.5, but definitely nice size for a dress watch here. Weil logo right there on the back. You have the Beatles stamp logo. Also, it's a see-through case back, but a lot of it's covered up by this little logo. But you can kind of see that there's a decent amount of decoration on the movement here. So yeah, definitely not bad. Cost me $1,500 US for this one. So yeah, it's an okay price, I would say, because that's where Raymond Weil kind of competes in, is the affordable luxury category. And they really do kind of compete with Junghans and a lot of micro brands and some Longines, Oris in this category. Yeah, so yeah, that's Raymond Weil Beatles. And Frederic Constant as well. Frederic Constant sometimes gets good discounts and drops down to around that price range. All right, next up is the Oris GMT. It's actually the oldest watch I have in my collection. Got this in 2018. This is my GMT watch, and it's a limited edition to 2,000 pieces. Also one of the most expensive watches here, $2,000. I paid full retail price for this one. Oris is a Swiss company. Yeah, they've been there for over 100 years, so they got a lot of history there. So what's cool about this one is because I usually don't like the design of most GMT watches, because most GMT watches just has like a GMT hand, which is the Rolex style, right? Rolex GMT. They have that like special hand just for that other time zone. I don't really like that. I think that's a very lazy way to implement a GMT. So yeah, the subdial here is the other time zone, the second time zone here. So I find that this is a better implementation. I like it better. Plus it's got like a little cool globe graphic here. And then you got the date window down at the bottom. And yeah, in general, I do like this design. It's simple white dial with a second subdial right here instead of a seconds hand. So it's cool not to have any seconds hand in the way, but just to have it on a subdial, just like with the Nomos, and to have the second time zone right here, cool little graphic and a subdial instead of another hand. And yeah, the date window right here. So it keeps it simple. And you know, I like simple, elegant designs. I don't want to have like a bunch of hands around this watch and stuff for the GMT. Instead, they did it with subdials, and I'm happy about that. They also, you can see some galashing right on the dial. So that's pretty cool. There is, see some galash markings on here. So yeah, that's definitely cooler design. And then on the back, no see-through case back, but it's fine because we have a engraving here of Sir Sandford Fleming, who is the inventor of Greenwich Mean Time. So let's see. Yeah, you guys can maybe see here. There is Sir Sandford Fleming, the inventor of Greenwich Mean Time, right there. So yeah, this is called the Oris Greenwich Mean Time limited edition, limited to 1,000 pieces, I think. Yeah, so yeah, pretty cool. I've had it since 2018, a long time. And a stainless steel bracelet, right? So I wear this actually mostly as a travel watch, which makes sense because of the dual time zone. So yeah, I mostly when I'm traveling, which is quite a bit, I travel every year, I take this watch with me. So mostly use this one when traveling. I don't use this normally. All right, last but not least in this collection is probably the most interesting looking watch, and that is the Adawak Spaceship, which cost about 1,400 for me. It's probably 1,800 now, since I got this one like secondhand. But yeah, really, really cool looking watch. It uses a Miyota movement, actually. Oh yeah, the Oris uses a Sellita movement, and the Ferrer also uses a Sellita movement. I think they both use the SW200, and the Raymond Weil I think uses a modified Sellita as well, or ETA, I forget. But these three all definitely do not use their own movements. They use like off-the-shelf movements, as does the Junghans. The only ones out of here that use their own movements are the Seiko, of course, because Seiko always makes their own movements, and the Nomos. And the Adawak uses a Miyota movement. So the Adawak is a Chinese micro brand. They focus on making really unique, interesting designs. So they actually am inspired by like a lot of the crazy expensive Swiss designs like the Richard Miles and in particular Urwerk. So they take a lot of those really expensive designs that you normally have to pay 6 figures for, and they make it affordable. So this is a wandering hour movement. A wandering hour movement means that the way that these hands move is that as they basically go off of this, I guess out of this little area right here where you can kind of see the minutes, they automatically switch and they turn, so that you always get, it's easier actually if I show you guys, because this is actually the crown. So I'm gonna push the crown out and I can actually show you guys. So yeah, as you move, so to be 7, 8, right, 9, 10, so it's always gonna go sequentially to the next number, even though as you guys can see here, it's not all sequential. Automatically, like the numbers are like rotating, they flip as they rotate. So they all flip to the correct number basically as you do that. And it's called the Wandering Hands design, or the Wandering Hour design, I should say. Yeah, the Wandering Hour design. Usually it's only seen on really expensive Swiss watches, but Adawak has done it here at a reasonably affordable price. It's a really cool design. They have a lot of other watches like this. They have, yeah, a lot of other models. The Tarantula, I think, the Cobra, the Tor, they have so many cool looking models. This is just the latest one, the Spaceship. And I got it because it looks cool. It's a very sci-fi-like design. So yeah, basically how you read it is you have the hour right here, right, indicated right there. There's only going to be one of, like, none of these are going to be here on this window at the same time. There's only going to be one hand here at the same time. That's going to be the hour. And then down here is going to be the minutes. So yeah, and then as for the seconds, the second disc is always spinning, but it doesn't actually show you how many seconds has elapsed. So that's one issue with this design. I think that Adawak could have easily implemented a way to tell you how many seconds has elapsed, because I did that with my previous Adawak, the Atari Drift Lite, but they don't do that here. It's just a spinning disc. So all you can tell is that well, this is an automatic watch, so all you can tell is that the watch is currently, you know, it's got energy powering it, right? If you see the spinning circle, but you don't know how many seconds actually elapsed. You only know that it's spinning, which means that it's actually in movement, but you don't know how many seconds has elapsed. But anyways, really, really cool design. This is the Azure Silver color. There's also a whole bunch of other colors, and it's limited to 300 pieces each. So yeah, in total, not too many of them are out there. Just a really cool design though. They do have their kind of own logo here, and they actually have it on the side here, I think. Yeah, on the side of the watch. You kind of see out of whack right there in like small print. On the back here, you can see the Miyota movement here, and actually branded with out of whack. It's really also pretty cool looking movement, but it's decently decorated too. So yeah, although none of these movements are as decorated as my old Frederick Constant Slimline Moon Phase. That one was really heavily decorated, but yeah, decent. And it's got this blue rubber strap too. So really cool design. I wear this not every day, but certain times and places I'll wear it because it's like a conversation starter type of watch. It's always good to have a fun watch in the collection. All right, so that is all my analog watches. Yeah, so that's the more expensive collection. All right, now let's move on to my digital watch collection here, because not only do I like analog watches, but I do have a soft spot for digital watches too. So I have 6 different digital watches here. The case is by Case Elegance, which I've done a review on before. So let's go left to right here. First is going to be my Motorola Moto 360 3rd generation. So this is my, I guess, one of only 2 smartwatches here. And this is an Android Wear watch. So it uses Wear OS. Got it back in 2020. So it's, I mean, a little bit old now, I guess. Yeah, the Moto 360, I mean, this is a watch that, first of all, I actually bought the original Moto 360 back in 2014, which is one of the first, I think it was the first Android smartwatch with a circular round face. You got to remember back then, it was Pebble that started the whole smartwatch industry, and back then all the watches have square faces, or square cases, I should say. Motorola had the first smartwatch with a round circular case design. Now you see that a lot, but they were the first. And yeah, this is the 3rd generation, which is actually not made by Motorola, but it's made by like another company called eBuyNow, but they licensed the Motorola name, and it's a pretty decent smartwatch. It's not bad at all. It was expensive when it first came out, like $350, but I do like it. I mean, it's got, this is the ivory kind of silicone strap with the gold case right here. So you got your quick menu button right here, and you got the selection button here with the actually this is the menu button, and this is the quick action button, but here you have the crown, which is rotatable, and you can rotate, you know, using this, or you can use the touchscreen here. It's cool actually, because not all smartwatches have that. Like my Samsung Galaxy Watch Active did not have this, and then the Garmin Venu 3S, which I reviewed recently, does not have these kind of features. So I do like that about the Motorola Moto 360. And then it's got the, you know, your regular health sensors and everything on the back. So I keep this watch as basically an Android Wear watch. It's not the best for fitness or anything. I think the Garmin watches are the best for that. And overall, it's, you know, if you have an iPhone, obviously get the Apple Watch instead. It's not going to be the best for all people, but for me, it does most of the things that a smartwatch should do, and it does them well enough. So keep that one. And yeah, like basically I had the Samsung Watch Active 2, and I kind of prefer the Motorola 360 just because of this this crown, I guess, and then the fact that yeah, it runs Wear OS and stuff like that, which I guess is now the preferred operating system for Android smartwatches over Tizen, because since Samsung Galaxy watches are now running Wear OS as well. Next up is the Casio Data Bank right here, and this one, well, I got it because it's really cool retro looking. It only costs, what, about $60 US, I think. And yeah, this particular model is a DBC 611, the back. Yep, battery powered, of course. A lot of things you can do with this one. Obviously, the thing you'll notice is that it has a numpad for a calculator built in. So it's a calculator watch. So yeah, it has a data bank. So basically a place to store like numbers and stuff for phone numbers. It's got this calculator, right? So you can do some quick calculations on the go here. And there we go. Yeah, I can do some quick calculations without having to pull out my phone. I can just use my watch. So it's got the calculator functionality. It's got dual time zone functionality. Yeah, database, alarm, stopwatch. Yeah, this is a stopwatch right here. Yeah, and it's got this, this is the backlight Right, you press this, light the watch, and yeah, this is pretty much it. Oh, this is a dual time right here. Yep, and it's a normal time. All right, so that's pretty much it. It's got stainless steel bracelet. It's pretty cheap. I mean, it's Casio, right? Casio is known for their cheap watches, although not all of Casio's watches are cheap. They have high-end stuff like G-Shock and Oceanus, but the data bank is definitely on the lower end. But it's just a really cool retro, like vintage-looking watch, which I like to wear sometimes. Next up is, actually I'm going to put these two together. Next, I'm going to talk about the Apple Watch. This should probably be beside the Motorola. Okay, the Apple Watch Series 3. I mean, everyone knows what the Apple Watch is, right? It's like the most common, most popular smartwatch in existence. It's got this squarish face. Everyone knows what these buttons do, right? This is like your kind of context menu button. This is your selection button, and your wheel here, crown for scrolling, and also has a touchscreen. So yeah, it's also got the sensors and everything on the back. This one in particular is a Series 3. Came out in 2017, so it's definitely old, right, for a smartwatch, but still works well. Like I don't use the iPhone that much, so I don't feel any need to get a modern smartwatch for like a modern Apple Watch. But this one, just for a collection, runs its own operating system, watchOS, right? Yeah, this is good enough for me. Still works well. So Apple Watch Series 3 from 2017. I don't use iPhones very often. If I used them very often, I probably would upgrade this. But since I don't use them often, this is just the one I have in my collection. So yeah, not expensive too, right? Obviously I got it cheap because it's old. All right, next up is the Bulova Computron, which actually costs $300, believe it or not, for this thing. Looks like it has a case that opens up, but it doesn't. In actuality, this is just an LED display, and that's the only thing it does, right? You just press it once, and it displays the time, and that's it. And yeah, the bottom, don't see anything that interesting, right? Just like this little case for just a little spot for battery. That's it. Whoops, here. There we go. Yep, little spot there for a battery, and then stainless steel bracelet, which looks pretty cool. The only reason I got this is because of the design, right? The looks. It just looks like something that came out of a cyberpunk game. Like it's really, really cool. Yeah, it's very cyberpunk looking. That's why I got it. So for the functionality, there's only one button here to press. Pretty simple to operate. You press 1 for the time. So right now it's 5:50. You press another time for the seconds, and then you press it again for the date. Right now it's December 28th, 12/28. You press it again, 7 hour, something like that. Yeah, so pretty simple, and there's a dual time, I believe, as well. So yeah, it actually has a lot of functionality just for a watch with one button. You kind of just screw through. Yeah, this is a dual time zone. So it actually has a lot of functionality, surprisingly, for something like this. And it just got a really bright LED display, because that's yeah, it's an LED technology, not LCD, right? So pretty cool. Just got it mostly for the looks, right? Very, very cyberpunk looking watch. So that's it. So $300 for this sounds expensive, but it is quite unique looking, very vintage, retro, cyberpunk looking watch. Next up is the Citizen Star Wars, also $300, and this comes with a steel bracelet here. This is another cool watch. I just got it. Looks really unique. It's got like the square case right here, and a lot of functionality, just like with the Casio data bank. So for this one, you have this unique Star Wars aesthetic. Of course, they make different versions, like the R2-D2 version, Rebel version, Empire version. This is the Millennium Falcon edition. So if you look in the back here, you can see the Millennium Falcon. Right, it's kind of like a, yeah, you can see kind of like a picture of the Millennium Falcon there, and Citizen. Yeah, pretty cool for fans of Star Wars and sci-fi. So you can see here, like, basically, you can actually see the seconds right here ticking, but you can also make this one above kind of be like a seconds ticker as well. Those are the main time here. And this one, I can kind of reset it to be a stopwatch. So there, I can make it act as a stopwatch, like that. I can basically, I can switch it back. I can see the temperature here. So you can set it where you can see the date. So you can see Friday 29th, as well as the temperature, 24.9 degrees Celsius. It's cool, it's got a temperature sensor, right? I can do it again to get the dual time functionality. So pretty cool. This is a backlight. I'm gonna press that for the backlight. And then, yeah, this one is kind of, okay, I can make this act as a seconds timer as well. So you have both the bottom here and the top here will act as a seconds timer or a seconds hand or something. But yeah, really cool watch. Right, just I like the looks and appearance and the fact I like Star Wars as well, being a Star Wars fan. So you know, why not? Yeah, came from Citizen, very trusted Japanese watch company. So all right, man, Japanese makes a lot of great digital watches, right? Casio and Citizen, some Seiko as well. All right, last but not least is the Nixie tube watch right here from Nixoid, which is a company from Eastern Europe that makes Nixie tube watches and Nixie tubes in general. I think most of the companies come from Eastern Europe. This is a really cool watch. As you guys can see, very distinctive and unique. Cost about $350 US, I think. So definitely fairly expensive, but what's cool about this one is actually this is not a Nixie tube watch, by the way. I'm sorry, this is a VFD watch. You can choose different types of technologies when you order from their website. You can choose the Nixie tube watches, but in my opinion, I like the VFD better. Okay, so what is VFD? VFD is like an old tube technology that, or it's an old display technology that predates LCDs and predates LEDs too. So there's only one button here. You just press it, and then you guys can see how it works. Okay, that's the time. So that's the only thing it does. You press it, and you see time 12:29. Obviously, not correct, but I haven't been using this for a while. I can always set it again. But yeah, that's what VFD is. It's just it's an old but really cool display technology that uses tubes. That's different from the Nixie tubes, actually. But they're still tubes, they're just different technology than Nixie tubes. Nixie tubes are even older and predate VFDs too. But yeah, I like this one better. This is the Space VFD technology. It's a particular model, and it has a micro USB here for charging it. So that's, yeah, you can charge these tubes, which is pretty cool. So it does not have like, I don't think it has a way to take out the battery or anything. Instead, it's rechargeable. Yeah, so with the Casio and the Citizen Belova, I can always just replace the batteries. I don't think this one's replaceable. Instead, it's just rechargeable. But yeah, that's all it does. Just really cool though. I never really wear this one because it's ridiculous. Look how huge it is, right? It's ridiculously huge, but it is a nice thing to have on display, right? People are going to be like, what the heck is this? It's just a nice thing to have on display. So, you know, people like pay money for Nixie tubes, right? For clocks and stuff. They have Nixie tube clocks, which I actually did a video review on before, like Nixie tube clocks and things like that. This essentially is a clock for me. I don't really wear it much, but it's nice to have the novelty of being able to wear it too, right? So yeah, the novelty of being able to wear it also has a sensor, whereas, yeah, it has a sensor basically, whereas if you lift up your arm, if you lift up your waist, it'll automatically display it. So yeah, like that. So there's a sensor in here. That's also pretty cool. So yeah, anyways, I had this mostly for display. Not really, it's not really practical to be worn. Although I know some people like Steve Wozniak do wear Nixie watches, but yeah. That you gotta be some major geek cred to actually like wear this in public and have some balls too. Anyways, that's my watch collection, guys. My digital watch collection, my analog watch collection. Let me know what you guys think of my collection. You guys have seen all my watches now, and yeah, I'm gonna try not to buy too many watches in the future, just because I don't want to spend too much more money. Hopefully, I won't be doing much more of these, but yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of my current collection. So that's it, guys. As always, thanks for watching.